Live better and longer with the Fitzness Show, hosted by fitness expert, author, and TV personality Fitz Kohler. She'll tell you why diets are dumb, supplements are snake oil, and the truth about how you can earn a lean, hard, pain-free, and athletic body. Now for our favorite bossy blonde, Fitz Kohler.
Well, hi, team. I'm Fitz Kohler, your giddy fitness pro, author, and race announcer from fitzness.com. And welcome to the Fitzness Show. Folks, if you are looking at a clip of this show or maybe the recorded version, you will see my new backdrop wall. That's right. We're redesigning the Fitzness studio. I'm very excited about it. So I've got some pretty killer distressed wood behind me, and I like it very much. So there you go. That's why I'm giddy. Also, the other thing that makes me giddy is the amount of people who think that I'm a great singer. And I just got a Instagram message from someone telling me what a beautiful voice I had. Now, here's the deal. I'm not a bad talker, right? If you're listening to me talk, hopefully you're not repulsed by the sound I'm making. However, when it comes to singing, I'm god awful. I do a super bad job at singing. Sometimes at a race, we have a live anthem singer, and it's very obvious. I say, here is Susie Q or John Doe. And then they come up and people see them singing, and the runners and the spectators know that that person has the beautiful voice, not me. However, sometimes I just play a pre-recorded version of the anthem. I have Lee Greenwood, and I often use Leanne Rimes, who has one hell of a voice, right? She really belts it out. So at Gasparilla, I played Leanne Rimes twice. And so many people came up and they're like, you have a beautiful voice. And I said, thank you, because I really did think they were talking about my big runner set go or just my stupid conversational voice. But no, the word got out that I was singing the anthem, and that makes me giggle. I'm hoping nobody disputes it for them. Someone just commented on an Instagram post, was like, by the way, you sang that anthem like a rock star. I responded, it actually was a rock star. It wasn't me who was singing that, but yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I like taking credit for other people's talent. That's a gift. And why would I argue with them, right? Why would I ruin it? If they want to attach this glorious sound to me, who am I to deprive them of that? So anyhow, yay for me and my beautiful anthem singing. And this show is going to be dedicated to your questions. You've given me some really good ones, some medical questions too. Folks, reminder, I am not a doctor. However, I do have some answers that I think can be helpful. So we're going to go there, starting with, this one's not a medical question. This is a downright fitness question, and I like it very much. Thank you, Laura Wright. She says, I've seen folks at the gym with weighted vests. So what about weighted vests? Are they worth it? If so, what benefits do they offer, and what exercises can they be worn for? So I think weighted vests are wonderful. They're a way to add resistance to your training without occupying your hands. And so if you're going to do lunges or squats or even bicep curls, if you want to put on a weighted vest, you're just adding resistance. So if you're wearing a weighted vest, you're not adding resistance to the bicep curl, but it's certainly not hurting you to stand there wearing it. But yeah, it's an opportunity to add resistance and grow stronger without occupying your hands. That's weighted vests in a nutshell. They can also be used for sports. So sports specific training, for example, in ballroom dancing, you don't want to be bouncing. You don't want to jump up. And so sometimes they weight a dancer down, they put a vest on, which disinclines them to bounce, right? They're more likely to stay low and maintain that posture if they're wearing a weighted vest. In fact, I used to wear the weighted vest when I was training as a kickboxer just to improve my strength when I was doing things like head movement, which requires a lot of squatting, right? Little teeny squats to dip your head underneath an opponent's punches or kicks. So yeah, weighted vests are fantastic. This is where I think they go wrong. This is what I do not like for weighted vests. If you are going to walk or hike wearing a weighted vest, I have zero issue with that, especially if your spinal column is healthy. However, it stresses me out, scares the bejesus out of me when I see people running in a weighted vest. Why? Because our spinal column is so important, and the discs between each vertebrae are so important. And as many of you know, they're fragile, right? You hear so many people with a bulging disc or a herniated disc. We want to keep our discs as healthy as possible. Now, over time, throughout the course of our life, gravity is going to do a number on those discs because it's always pushing down. And so if you add 30 pounds or 20 pounds to your 5K or your half marathon or whatever it is, if you are running, that weight vest is coming up and pounding down. That is increasing the amount of impact on your discs specifically. And again, I hate that. I don't even use the word hate. I hate that. That is scary stuff. I remember when I first started teaching fitness, there was a big emphasis on the spinal column safety and always protecting the spinal column for those you were working with. So when I was learning to become a fitness instructor, that was a high priority. When I had someone in a classroom or a personal training client, protect their spinal column at all costs. And then in grad school, when I was getting my master's in exercise and sports sciences, I had a full class dedicated to the spinal column. And boy, the scary things I was told about your spinal column, namely the spinal cord, that very fragile cord that runs between your discs and your vertebrae, has the consistency of an overripe banana. So think about that. Think about how soft and squishy and vulnerable an overripe banana is. That's the consistency of your spinal cord. And that's the thing that keeps you moving or not, right? And it's filled with nerves, right? It's the most important part of your nervous system next to your brain. So anyways, do not do high impact activities in a weighted vest. That's really where I'm going with that. Is you can do any sort of strength training without a problem. If you want to go hiking, walking, we have rucking divisions in many of the races I announce. That's cool as long as you're walking. Now, mind you, if you do have a bulging disc or a herniated disc, I wouldn't recommend the ruck. I just wouldn't recommend it. And, sometimes we want to say, no, everybody should do everything. No, not every activity is appropriate for everyone. And so the other thing I would like to make note of is if, let's say, someone's told you have no cartilage in your knee. All right, well, you're still working against gravity. Do you also want to add 30 pounds of added pressure to that knee joint? I don't know if that's a good idea. And so weighted vests are cool, but they should be used appropriately and wisely. And maybe they're not for you. Maybe they are, maybe not. It's up to you. But that's my big answer on the weighted vest. Thank you so much for that question. Okay. Boy, here's another doozy. Okay, so Tanya Prokopiak wants to know, she says, managing autoimmune fatigue and having fitness and weight loss goals, the struggle is real. So she has, I'm guessing, low thyroid. She says a low thyroid. And then someone else piped in. Laura Adams said, this is my issue as well. I'm hypothyroid, Hashimoto's, and only have half a thyroid. And for me, the fatigue is brutal some days. So I totally understand that. Hypothyroidism is your thyroid's lack of producing the thyroid hormone. And then hyperthyroidism is the overproduction of that thyroid hormone. Those are big words you're asking me about. And so if you have hypothyroidism, you are likely to experience fatigue, sensitivity to cold, constipation. That sounds fun. Dry skin, weight gain, muscle weakness, thinning hair, good gravy. And then the hyperthyroidism, people often have a faster heartbeat. They lose weight without trying. They're nervous. They have increased hunger, changes in their menstrual cycles, increased sensitivity to heat. So there's, opposite ends of the spectrum with that. So I don't like to reveal a lot of my medical history. It's just not like, I didn't like telling you I had cancer. Just so you know, when I had to make that video to tell you all I had cancer, I was really pissed at the world. But yeah, thanks to the hair loss, I wasn't able to hide that. And it all worked out, right? You guys had my back and it was great. However, I too suffer from hypothyroidism. And golly, it started, I think I was about 21 when I started experiencing symptoms that looked like chronic fatigue syndrome. I was, God, the fittest I've ever been. I was fighting at the time, kickboxing. And I would go work in the morning. And then by 10 a.m., I would be home on my couch, face down, just sleeping for 2 hours and exhausted. And so I would go to the doctor. And I said, gosh, I'm experiencing extreme fatigue. Can you help me? And so interestingly enough, for about 15, 20 years, I had doctors to draw my blood and say, your blood comes back slightly hypothyroid, but they would say, you're skinny and athletic, so we're not going to treat you. And those sons of bitches, right? Because I suffered greatly for a very long time. That it is not a joke. It is not a joke. And the exhaustion was debilitating sometimes. It was a real problem. So fortunately, one of my physicians, after not treating it for a while, she finally said, you know what, your symptoms are pretty extreme. Even though your blood tests only come back slightly hypothyroid, let's treat you and see what happens. And she did. I went on levothyroxine, and that's the drug they use to treat hypothyroidism. It's levothyroxine and Synthroid. There may be another, but again, I'm not a doctor or a pharmacist. And all of a sudden, my world turned around. I stopped being so exhausted. And it was really very helpful. It was life-changing for me. So here's the deal. If you do suffer from hypo or hyperthyroidism, you need to see your doctor. I don't have a solution for you that will work if you actually have hyper or hypothyroidism. That is something you need medical intervention for, and I'm not your girl. However, it's most important facing any sort injury or illness that you are doing everything you can. You should be exercising. Know this, that if you're so tired because of hypothyroidism and you want to take a nap and you don't want to sleep, if you do not exercise, that fatigue is just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. So you have to drag yourself off the couch, out of bed, and go do something, right? Maybe it's a walk around the block. Maybe it's a dance class. Maybe it's whatever. You got to do something. You have to fight against this burden you're bearing, or it will get worse. You cannot let these medical issues consume you. And that includes cancer, right? That's what your healthy cancer comeback is all about, is helping prevent the decline. Because know this, whatever you're dealing with, whether it's arthritis or cancer or Parkinson's or thyroid issues, if you do not exercise, you are going to get weaker. If you do not strength train, you're going to get weaker. If you do not do cardio, you're going to lose stamina. If you do not do balance training, you're going to be more likely to fall. And if you don't stretch, you're going to become less and less mobile over time, and everything's going to hurt. So what I can tell you is your nutrition becomes even more necessary when you're facing illness or injury. Your exercise becomes even more necessary when you're facing illness or injury. And so, ladies, excellent question. And I have had tremendous success with treatment for the low thyroid. So please talk to your doctor. And if you have one that's ignoring you, like mine were, and I had many, I mean, I can't tell you how many actually said, you are skinny and athletic, so we're not going to treat you. That was absolutely the wrong choice for them. And they could have made a good 10 to 15 years of my life so much better if they really would have given me the time and the medicine I deserve. So yeah, that's my thoughts on thyroidism. Now, listen, if you're just tired, if you're just cold, may not be thyroidism, right? Maybe you're just tired. Maybe you need a nap. Maybe you haven't been exercising. So please don't self-diagnose. Don't Google it. And of course, don't take I'm not giving medical advice. I'm sharing medical information along with fitness advice. But yeah, know that perhaps you're just tired because you're not sleeping well. Maybe you need to get a more comfortable bed or softer sheets or turn the fan on or tell your kids to shut up, right? So maybe there's other reasons that you're feeling certain ways. But yeah, I can gather and pass along medical information. Just know that I'm never giving out medical advice because that's not what I do. Okay. It's a great question for someone like me, David Gare. He says, when is the best time to foam roll? Is that on rest days or after a workout? Also, is there a specific technique? He says he uses just his body weight and concentrates on specific areas like calves, hamstrings, and thighs, as well as his butt and low back. Okay, so I love foam rolling and self-massage, right? Since we probably, I don't know, maybe y'all are fancy pants like Oprah, but I wish I could have a massage therapist here when I wake up in the morning, just someone to put there. I would get a big, strong guy, right? Actually, I would get my physical therapist, Rob Middaugh. He's the best. And I tell him all the time, I wish I could just hire you to be mine. He said, well, I would be bored. It's like, okay, I would let you massage me a lot. But yeah, wouldn't it be great if you had this human there to get in all your nooks and crannies and the sore spot and loosen you up and stretch you out and give you deep massage all the time? I think that would be the best. However, that's not the reality for most of us. Most of us have to take measures into our own hands if we want to feel good. And so I work on feeling good in a variety of ways. One of my favorite things, I've got this massage pillow. I think it's called a shiatsu pillow, but it's got it's got the little knobs that go in circles like thumbs. Oh my gosh. And I just, every single night, if I'm home, I go to bed, or if I'm going to a race and I can travel by car, I bring it with me. I don't like to bring this thing on a plane because it's just too big. But anyways, I lie on it at night and I put it up my neck and then underneath my shoulder blades and my low back. Sometimes I put it on my thighs and my calves or my feet. It's wonderful. I think I paid $50 for the thing, and it's been keeping me in bliss or feeling good for 2 years already. It's a high quality, low monetary value investment, and that works great. And then there's some other type of tools, right? We got a hypervolt type of massage therapy gun where you can hold it in your own hand and pound away at your muscles, or someone can do it for you. And then we got things like foam rollers. And I love foam rolling. Foam rolling is self-massage where you get to choose the pressure that you're thwarting against yourself. I mean, really, I often say that your body is the heaviest thing you'll ever lift. Okay. Think about push-ups. However much you weigh, you're pushing up that much. You weigh 180 pounds. Okay. It's 180. Your body is a 180-pound barbell. Now rest your 180-pound body on an object, a firm object in one spot. So now let's say you're doing your quads. You've got your quads resting on the foam roller. That's a good chunk of your weight being applied there. That's pressure that should provide release. So I think foam rollers are great. They come in a variety of types, right? So there's foam, there's firm foam, there's softer foam. You can tell some of them are really high end. Some of them are kind of cheaper and maybe a little less resistant, right? Maybe there's more give there. There's foam rollers with little bumps. So you get a little added oomph to the pressure and the massage factor. I actually have foam rollers that they're called Rolga, Rollga. That's right. Rollga. Look at Rolga. It kind of looks like multiple volleyballs next to each other, but it's hard foam. And when I roll my spinal column between the two smallest balls in the middle of the foam roller, it cracks my back, right? It's that a little alignment thing, which feels so good. But yeah, so I like that. And I also like to run my calves and my thighs between the balls. That gives a little extra oomph to the massage. But overall, the foam roller can be used in a variety of ways. Either you roll your body forward and back at I hate to say rapid pace, but at a comfortable pace, right? You're going to move it forward and back and just give that smooth massage. Or you can just put a really sore spot on that foam roller and hang out there. And that's typical IT band issues, right? So if that connective tissue between your hip and your knee feels sore, that's the IT band. People want to get some relief there. You can just rest your IT band on the foam roller and stick it out there. That's the type of massage that's going to make you hold your breath, right? You're going to go, because it kind of stings, right? It hurts a bit. Hold it there. Wherever you feel that pressure that makes you gasp, that means you're doing the right thing. So I would hang out there. You know, if you need to remove a little pressure by putting a little extra pressure on your upper body or elbow, go ahead and do that. But connective tissue, something like the IT band, you can't stretch an IT band. It's connective tissue. It's not a muscle. So you can't stretch it. The only real relief you can provide to something like your IT band is pressure. That's how we relieve that issue. And so foam rollers are really valuable when it comes to connective tissue issues. So yeah, I love the foam roller. I love all types of foam rollers. There's even a not foam roller. If you get a big fat PVC pipe, holy smokes, you got to be a tough guy or a tough gal. But yeah, using the non-foam roller, the PVC pipe, you can get a fat one from Home Depot. It's not for the meek, but it can be very effective, right? If you need extra pressure, if you're just so damn tough, go with a not foam roller. Great question. And we will be right back. Do your hips, glutes, quads, and hamstrings need extra support while running? Of course they do. Both soothing and comfortable, compression tights by Leo Reve boost blood and lymphatic circulation while increasing muscle pliability, which helps prevent fatigue and injury. Made for men and women of all speeds. Check out the superior balanced compression tights made right here in America. Visit leoreve.com. That's LeoRever.com. We're back. All right, Michael Jones says, at our gym, there's a weight room that only a few people go in. It's always freezing cold. What is that and what's the point? I don't know, Michael. I don't know. It's way more cold than the other rooms. I'm guessing maybe the AC is just a little more powerful there. Maybe some gym guy, some employee decided he wanted it a little colder for weightlifting. But yeah, most gyms try to keep the temperature down so people are inspired to move vigorously, right? So if you're on the treadmill, let's say, and it's already warm, you might tap out more quickly because heat can make you more uncomfortable quickly. It's, in a brisk environment with the chilly temps, you're more likely to work a little hard for a little longer. I'm sure that's probably it. I'm sure somebody at your gym just got a little crazy. Now, if we're going to go on the other side, there's something like hot yoga. There is benefit to you being a little hotter and your muscles get a little more pliable when you're in the warmer temps to do those deep stretches. But yeah, I think they're just going a little overboard trying to keep the gym cool for you. If it's too cold, Michael, speak up. I know you know how to do that. Michael Jones. I love that guy. Many of you know why. Okay. Chrissy Bergeron-Lyon says, inevitably, she experiences low back pain after doing a T-bar row. So she's bent over. She's in a bent over position. She said her form is good. Are certain people just not built for some exercises? I would say, yeah, there probably are some people who have some physical limitations, but I bet, Chrissy, you just are suffering from a weaker back. Maybe you need to focus on that area. So a more simple example that most people could identify with is when they're doing crunches and their neck hurts, right? So we wouldn't say, well, your body's not built for crunches because your neck hurts, because we know crunches are great for your abdominals, right? We feel each exercise fastest where we are weakest. And so you're working your abs during crunches, but you start to feel pain in your neck. That's because your neck is too weak to hold up your bowling ball head, right? Heads are heavy. So what I would tell you, instead of saying don't do crunches, I would say, well, let's work on your neck strength. Let's build up the strength in your neck. And so it doesn't hurt while you do crunches. Same thing for rows. Your low back needs some work. And so that could come with Supermans are a great choice for that. You could do low back extensions. There's a machine at the gym. It's not the Roman chair. It's different. It's actually designed for your low back, where you hook your hindquarters in, you put your hips on a padded platform, and you swing your lower body, your legs get hooked underneath another pad, and then you drop down, your head hangs towards the ground, and then you slowly elevate your torso so it's parallel with your hips and legs. That's great for your low back. I'm sure if you put some effort into your low back, Chrissy, you would feel pretty good doing that T-bar row. The other thing you can always do to support your back, besides strength training of your low back, would be keeping your hips and your back flexible, right? Tightness and weakness are the number one culprits for exercise pain. And so, yeah, keep those hips loose, keep your torso stretched out, rotate, bend forward. Back on Instagram, I have a whole bunch of cool stretches with bands, stretches with a stick, fresh content that you could go to right now and learn how to stretch that area. Also, there's a ton of videos showing bridges and Supermans, which would be great for this exercise. But yeah, just strengthen your low back and you should be able to do those T-bar rows with no problemo at some point. And we will be right back.
Are you looking for the perfect gift for a loved one battling cancer? The Cancer Comeback Series by Fitz Kohler offers hope, inspiration, and practical guidance. With Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, My Noisy Cancer Comeback, and The Healthy Cancer Comeback Journal. These books are a lifeline for all patients and survivors. Right now, you can order autographed copies at a special discount. Show your support and help a loved one go from sick to strong. Visit fitzness.com today. That's FITZNESS.com. Fitzness.com.
We're back. All right. Next question. Sheila Achenbrenner wants to know best way to get rid of high cortisol levels. And Julie Stroud texts on, I was about to ask about this. Is it just the latest fad or is it something we really need to be concerned about? So cortisol is a type of steroid hormone released by your adrenal glands. Cortisol is good. Cortisol is useful to your entire body, and cortisol is important. So it's one of those things where just having cortisol in general is not a bad thing. We hear a lot of commercials, a lot of products pushing that they will help decrease cortisol levels, but maybe your cortisol levels are good. I don't know. Only blood work could tell us that, right? Perhaps your physician combined with a lab technician could figure out, and a phlebotomist in between, right? We could figure out whether you have the good kind or elevated or lower cortisol levels, right? But if you have low cortisol levels, you could end up with fatigue, unintentional weight loss, loss of appetite, low blood pressure. If you have high levels of cortisol, you could have weight gain, especially in your face or belly, fatty deposits between your shoulder blades. That's weird. Wide purple stretch marks on your belly. Nobody wants that unless you're having a cute baby. That's right. If you have cute baby-induced purple stretch marks, well, then high five to you because babies are the best, right? So your cortisol is necessary, right? It does a lot of things. It regulates your blood sugar levels and it supports in your fight or flight response, your stress response. So I would say, like I did with the thyroid, that it's important for you to go to a physician and get your lab work done. We don't want to vilify any of the very important processes our body makes, right? We don't want to vilify a thyroid or cortisol or anything else, right? With fat, fat's an important part of our body. We don't want to vilify it, but there's certainly places where we have too much or too little. And really that's between you and your doctor. However, there are some known ways that you have control to manage your own cortisol levels. And they go back to all the things we talk about all the time. So first of all, get quality sleep. Chronic sleep issues like insomnia, working night shift, et cetera, can affect cortisol levels. Move your body. Exercise is going to benefit every process within your body. You just got to do it. You can practice deep breathing exercise. Deep breathing exercises can help lower cortisol levels. I'm sure that's a rest and relax and de-stress move that could benefit you. Laughter promotes the release of endorphins and suppresses cortisol. Well, that's easy. Oh, I'm going to say it. My favorite comedian lately, I mean, for all time, it's Jerry Seinfeld. But my favorite newer comedian that I've started focusing on lately is Nate Bargatze. Nate Bargatze is so freaking funny, and he's on all the streaming services, and he's got many specials out. If you like watching comedy, watch Nate Bargatze. He's very clean, and he's very sarcastic, and he's so clever. He's very fun. So anyway, laughter. If you watch Nate Bargatze, you can lower your cortisol levels. And then they say maintain healthy relationships, because what could be more stressful than a difficult relationship with your parent or your spouse or your in-laws or, I don't know, some jerk at the office? So yeah, really all of this comes down to you doing the things I tell you to do. I hate to pat myself on the back right now, but the things I'm telling you to do, if you do them, most of the problems in your life will diminish or be dramatically reduced, because I don't know, I'm smart. No, I'm regurgitating the facts about the benefits of health and fitness and exercise and nutrition and sleep and all of those things. So please do what I say. Please do what I say. Okay. And then Dave Gare with another great question. David, I love that you are so interactive. Whenever I I put up a prompt for a question. You always hit me with a really good one. Thank you so much. So he has a daughter that is gluten-free, and he wants to know if she can gain weight on a gluten-free diet. And yeah, that's a unique issue, right? But actually, there are quite a few people trying to put on some extra pounds. The answer is yes, yes, and hell yes. In fact, it was a really funny trend. So gluten-free became a thing, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. Everybody was claiming to be allergic to gluten. Everybody. How ironic, right? How interesting. Everybody is now suddenly allergic to gluten. In fact, Tara Collingwood, the nutritionist, our dietitian I had on my show a few weeks ago, she really combats this myth. But so many people decided, oh, gluten-free, I need to be that. I need to do that. This is going to be my diet. And they started eating gluten-free, which is kind of a pain in the ass. And also, they were just substituting regular bread for gluten-free bread. So they were still getting bread. But weight loss really is based on calories in, calories out. It doesn't matter what kind of calories you're putting in. In fact, you could gain weight on fruit. You can gain weight on vegetables if you eat enough. Now, the perk of eating fruits and vegetables is you have to eat a whole lot to gain weight because they're very light on calories, dense with nutrition, dense with fiber, which fills you up. But sure, you can certainly pack on weight gluten-free. Gluten really is irrelevant in the case for weight loss or weight gain. So yeah, tell her, sure, eat everything she wants to. Hopefully healthy food if she's trying to put on muscle instead of fat, high protein. And she can only use so much protein anyways, but it's a good choice. It's a really good choice. Nuts and beans. Beans are great choices. And of course, her lean proteins, her lean meats if she's a carnivore. But yeah, great questions. Great questions for all of you. Thank you for continuing to contribute to the show. Your questions, I mean, I love answering them. I'm a fitness pro. I like helping people. So when you send me a good question and I get to answer it, it makes me feel useful. So if nothing else, thanks for making Fitz Kohler feel useful. All right, we're going to go with the communication tip of the week. It's one of my favorite ways to communicate. I would like you to use a pen, write a message on paper, and put it in the mail and send it to somebody. I think this is so valuable and so sweet and so meaningful because everybody is sending texts and emails and all of this stuff. The fact that you would get an actual pen out or scribble on a piece of paper or a postcard, put a stamp on it and mail it to somebody, I think there's tremendous value. Even if you're just mailing it to somebody within your house, you want to mail a letter to your kid. People like getting mail. Mail to me, I mean, other than bills, right? I love going to the mailbox. In fact, I treat the mailbox like Santa Claus just arrived. And so I get paid by checks. Know this, at my races, the companies that I do keynotes for, most of them send me checks. Some of them do the auto draft, whatever, they pay me. But I actually really like checks. So I run out to the mailbox with my key to see what's inside. Money surely makes me happy. Products, if I've ordered something, that makes me happy. And then on occasion, I just get a sweetheart letter from an old friend, a new friend, a friend. Someone sent me something nice with pen and paper, and it just fills my heart up. So do that for somebody. Do that. And if you travel, Rob Bailey, he was a great guest. Spin doctor, PR pro, he said his son sends postcards to him from wherever he is. And it's just so meaningful to get a postcard from his kids. So yeah, pen and paper. That this week, don't wait till next week. Whatever today is, you've got a 7-day countdown, pen, paper, envelope, stamp, and get it done. And then song of the show, let's do Miles on It by Kane Brown. It's country, but it's upbeat. It's kind of pop country. That's what I would call it. But especially since I have a bunch of runners out there, the song Miles on It might resonate with you. But know this, Kane Brown, it's not singing about putting miles on your running shoes. He's talking about putting miles on his Chevy truck in the flatbed, if you know what I mean, right? He's talking about getting freaky in his truck, but it's a great song. It's super fun. You can even listen to it with your kids. They'll have no idea what he's singing about. But that's it. That's it. Thank you to all the people who inaccurately thought that I was singing the anthem so beautifully. Thank you for all your questions. For those of you who have clicked like and subscribe and left a nice review on the Fitzness Show and have shared it with friends, that's worthy of a thank you. And Everybody else, just get to work. I love you. Bye. Mwah.
Hi, this is Rudy Novotny, the voice of America's Marathons. We all love how much running has benefited every aspect of our lives, so much so that most of us only wish we'd started sooner. Wouldn't it be wonderful to gift the opportunity to children of today? Well, you can. The Morning Mile is a before-school walking and running program that gives children the chance to start each day in an active way while enjoying fun, music, and friends. That's every child, every day. It's also supported by a wonderful system of rewards, which keeps students highly motivated and frequently congratulated. Created by our favorite fitness expert, Fitz Kohler, Morning Milers across the country have run over 2 million miles and are having greater success with academics, behavior, and sports because of it. The Morning Mile is free to the child, free to the school, and is inexpensively funded by businesses or generous individuals. Help more kids get moving in the morning by visiting morningmile.com. Champion the program at your favorite school or find out more about sponsorship opportunities. That's morningmile.com. Long may you run.